Today's going to be a fun stream. Welcome to the stream. My name's Raz, and you're about to witness probably the most unhinged, probably lecture that you've heard in a very long time. And what is that lecture? That lecture is going to be plain and simple. Furries are the same as VTubers. And I decided that I would spice it up a little bit. You know, I've been rocking, the default, I ain't really special. I'm just, another guy on the side of the block. But you know what? Today, I'm spicing it up. That's right. Nothing better than probably what is going to be... I don't want to... I spent too... Fine, I'm going to do it. I regret my decisions. So, what we're going to do today is I'm going to prove to you, argument by argument, that VTubers are just furry weeaboos. Now, how am I going to do this? Well, first we have to define what both of these are, right? Then we can walk through how they're basically exactly the same. Now, what's going to be nice is that if no one watches and no one is here, then that means no one can prove me wrong, which means I'm just right, which I love. That is greater than anything else I can get, is I can speak into the void and I can argue for something and no one's going to tell me I'm wrong. This is great. So first and foremost, let's start. What's the most simple draw from a furry and a VTuber, right? So the model, right? The actual character, the persona, as they say, right? The physical embodiment of that is expensive. They're hundreds of dollars, sometimes thousands of dollars. Even if you go on Amazon and you try to look up a Freddy Fazbear fursuit, it's like $300, right? And now that's Freddy Fazbear, right? We're talking about like an OC, right? Like to the left. Thousands of dollars. And what about VTubers? Someone has to draw the model. Someone has to put it all together. And then someone has to rig it. It's the same thing. And now let's talk about personas, right? Now furries, right? Let's say you're a Therian, right? Someone who believes, if I'm not mistaken, and by the way, this is Wikipedia research. This ain't like, I didn't go to like Google Scholar and went like, oh, what's a Therian? Nuh-uh, I got better things to do with my life, okay? But a Therian, to my knowledge, is a person who believes that they have a soul of like an animal or something and like they can choose. So like, let's say, right? Because a fish is an animal, right? Let's say that you're an animal of the sea, right? And that's your fursona, right? So you're like this like dog fish thing, right? So let's imagine. I'm doing this. Let's imagine. Okay, the furry, his fursona is Rick the sea turtle, okay? And we've seen this, right? Look at Beetle, right? Is Beetle a furry? Oh, who knows? But, I'll just put that there, okay? I'll move on. But if the fursona is wait. Oh, no. There's no waiting, okay? The train has departed. We're already on the thing. We're a bullet train, okay? We are going mock Jesus all the way. Oh yeah, I bet you weren't here for the reveal, so you probably just walked in and saw furry Rick the turtle is equal to Raz, and Raz is wearing glasses, and he's a catboy. What happened? Well, I'm here to prove to you that VTubers are just furry weeaboos. That's all. And here's the thing, right? I am looking forward to just having full reign to just talk, just blow and shotgun all this crap out into the ether. And no one's going to tell me I'm wrong. That's going to be the best part. You see this smug smile on my face? The reason it's there is purely and simply because I know that no one can fight this. And if you try fighting it, then that means that whoever tries to fight it is like, oh yeah, no, we don't want to be associated with the furry community. And I get that. And I'll get into it. But I'm going to finish my point on the personas, right? Personas. Okay, joke's on you, I'm into that shit. I thought of this spur of the moment. I was like, what do I want to do for today's stream? And I'm like, you know what? I want to do something absolutely stupid. I want to do something that is just so asinine and so foolish that I am going to just have a lot of fun with it. And you know what? That's what I'm doing. Let me change this around real quick. Oh, as I break everything. Just a sec. Uh-oh. Everything's... There we go. Okay, there we go. Get the gun, honey. So, all right. Welcome, Rin. Welcome, Rai. So, I'm just going to start from the top because I think it's worthwhile, right? VTubers are just furry weeaboos. Let me explain. A furry, right? And we're talking about like a high quality fursuit, right? Thousands of dollars. A high quality, well rigged, well maintained and everything. VTube model, right? Expensive, thousands of dollars. Why you have ears? Because I figured that I would change it up and flashbang you guys. Just flat out, simply, 100%. I was like, wait, this is a free asset. I found these glasses, which by the way, they're held on by the power of anime. They have no frames. So if they fall off, not my fault. Okay, it just means that my mana ran out. This place is scary. This is a one-time thing. Okay. And if it gets really bad, here's the thing. Watch this. Watch this, okay? I can do this on command. Oh. Feel free. This will haunt my dreams. I'm derailing myself because, okay, I have to look at myself as I'm talking, okay? And it's really fucking me up. It's really fucking me up. Because I was like, you know what? I'm not going to feed into the Catboy stuff. Like, I figured, you know, that's below me. But, like, I have a really, like, this, there's a point. I wish I had a gunny. See, it's because, and here's the thing. The reason why you want to pull out the gun emote is because it's been associated with, like, oh, with the furry, right? You squirt gun the furry. Well, now you want to squirt gun the cat. See, another similarity. It's just the same, right? It's the same thing, okay? But the personas, right? Like, my original character, right, is I don't know what happened. I have amnesia. I'm in the middle of Tokyo Bay. I'm lost. I'm treading water, trying to find shore. That's my persona, right? That's my quote-unquote lore, right? But what about a persona, right? This is a person who believes that they are Therian, they have the soul of an animal, and they want to embody it by wearing a suit that fits their personality and needs, okay? Same thing. We call it lore for weebs or VTubers, and we call it a persona for furries, right? Okay. Third thing, ecchi content, right? How many models on Twitch have you seen today that are geared towards, you know, scratching the side of you that, like, you don't control? Scratching your second brain, as they say. All the time. Furries are the same way. Right? Now, I'm not saying... Now, actually, what's interesting is that fursuits can't exactly mimic that exact thing because of the fact that, like, you know, it's a lot harder because you don't have jiggle physics. Right? You're just embodying a character. Now, I've seen it done, right? But what I'm trying to say here is that is that it still exists. So there you go. There's another similarity. Right? So what I'm doing is I'm just showing you what is the same. And we're not even going to talk about how a lot of the stuff that, you know, we try to say, oh, well, this is what distinguishes it, really isn't. It's just, you know, it's our own flair, as they say. Next thing, conventions, right? Is it hunting season yet? It's going to be at the end of the stream, I swear to God. Furries, right? Furries have conventions. Have you guys ever heard of, like, how horrible it is to be someone that goes to a furry con or something? Right? Like, there's actually, like, hold on. I didn't write it down on my notes because I'm an idiot. And I was like, oh, I'll remember the name of it. But there was a convention for furries. Like, horrible story. Like, okay, yeah. I literally put furry con, horrible story. And basically, all you will find is exactly what you expect. You want to go to that? Well, here's the thing. In the furry conventions, right, ignoring everything except this, it is known for people who don't wear deodorant, people who, like, smell awful, okay? Which, like, I don't get, right? You would, like, especially in fursuits, you can smell it yourself. I've seen it's hunting season of furry con. See, that's the thing, right? Now, by the way, I want to clarify, okay, is that I'm not hating on furries or VTubers, okay? I'm taking all of this in jest. Because I've realized now, like, okay, wait, maybe someone could, like, interpret this as, like, me hating on them. No, I don't care. I'm just saying we're the same. We can complain and we can say, oh, blah, blah, blah. But ultimately, we're the same. And by the way, if you've watched into the VOD already, drop a follow. Why not? You're already here. Might as well. Whether you're here live or with the VOD. Aw. And speaking of the smell, weebu conventions. There was, I believe, a voice actor by the name of Takahashi Rin, or I don't know if that's the character she voiced or if that's her actual name, but she literally said, don't come to my convention if you don't bathe. Right? I'm watching Minecraft while the stream's going. I'm very sorry to hear that, Rin. Because let me tell you, okay, one of the most funny things I've ever seen, Rin Takahashi, yeah. And she literally said, word for word, that do not come to my meet and greet unless you bathe and like put on deodorant. And the reason why is because there were just a lot of sweaty people and a lot of just like people who didn't really like self-care. They just didn't have it, right? And they would go to these things, and imagine being like a very feminine woman that has like a really good grasp on skincare, body care, everything, right? And then you have to meet someone that doesn't know how to buy deodorant, right? Like that is probably horrific. And it was so bad. Like, and this isn't something like, oh, you know, it happened once and she was like, no. This was like over years. And she finally was like, enough is enough. I can't handle this anymore. Like, it's horrible, right? And she was like, literally take a shower and put on deodorant before you come and meet me. Like, I can't. Like, and that's how bad it was for her, right? And let me tell you, okay, I think with just these things here, I think I've already shown it that we're the same, right? Because let's define a furry, right? It's a person who believes they're like, quote unquote, like maybe a Therian, but like a person who believes, generally speaking. Now, I could be wrong, which, by the way, if I'm wrong about any of this, I want to be corrected because it just gives me more reason to kind of go into things, right? Okay, yeah, so like I said, I'm not a furry, so I don't know, right? This is where a 5-track comes into play. Yeah, I need to put it out. I need to get it sprayed. Furries are far different from Therians. Okay, see, I didn't know that. Because every time I've been exposed to, like, the furry community, it's always been the case of, like, oh, well, like, the problem, like, children are, like, Therians that, like, go way too far, right? There's, like, a difference between, like, and this is in every community, right? There's people who, like, are in the community, right? And then there's people who take it, like, have it and then take it so far. You should know because you, okay, so you're an expert on this. So, Rai, I'm going to defer to your expert opinion. Do you disagree with any of my points? Right? Am I wrong? And if I'm not wrong, am I inaccurate or like imperfect? Save the children? About what again? Any of it, right? VTubers are the same as furries because 1, expensive models. 2, personas like lore and fursonas. 3, like ecchi content, right? Like booba for VTubers. And then like you can, like, you probably know what I'm talking about. I can't really say it, but like the furry suits that like are more catered towards play. I'll put it that way. And then conventions. They can't deny their secret fur. And then obviously the convention thing with the smell. Now, these are just my very base level arguments, okay? These aren't like anything crazy. But I didn't want to spend too long like putting my points out there, right? I just wanted to. VTubers and furries are different. See, and this is the most popular counter argument I've discovered. It's like, well, VTubers and furries are different because VTubers are a online thing. It's all on software. None of it is in person, right? Whereas furries, right, you have to make the suit, you have to buy the suit, you have to wear it, you have to do all these different things, which I understand, but I'm talking on an intellectual level where it's essentially the same thing, right? Instead of putting on the suit, I open VTube Studio. Right? Instead of going to, I don't know, like a convention or something, right? I stream on Twitch. The con thing, that's what I confirmed. They either show up clean or leave. Okay, so there's some form of truth to this. This is good. Because keep in mind, like, the only thing that I know for sure is the ecchi stuff, right? VTubers just don't want to show themselves because they're not comfortable. Exactly. Yeah, but here's the thing, right? Have you ever seen like furries that never take off the helmet, or not the helmet, the I don't know what the actual term is actually, but like that's true. But so in philosophy it's called tautology, which is like A is equal to A. It's the same thing. It's an apple to apple comparison, right? So if you take a VTuber, right, you know, they have a suit, for example. In my case, it's Asuka, which is the name of this model. But a furry has their fursuit. And now they can take off their head at will. And so can the VTuber. I can turn on my webcam. Hell, I have one right in front of me. But I don't. I make the choice not to. They do them diligently or not at all. It takes big balls to unmask the furries. See? And here's the thing. It's the same thing with VTubers, right? Take Neanners, right? I don't know if you guys know who that is, or Lord Aethelstan, right? They're actually dating, and they're a wonderful couple. I love them to death. They were purely just VTubers for a long time. Then they got really famous and they got really confident, and only after that did they unmask themselves from VTubers. Gotta do something. So that was good, right? Don't worry, I'll be here. But that's the thing, right? Raz hand reveal. Dude, you don't want to see. My hands are like, they're not pretty, right? They have cuts and scars and crap all over them. They're not pretty. You know, my character, like, I'm very painfully aware that my character looks like a very like soft twink. I get it, right? I get it. I understand. Like I'm not that ignorant of things. But if you were to see my hand IRL and then like compare it to how my model looks, you're like, huh? Easy way to identify you then? That's also another reason. Like for example, I would love to do hand cam streams because I would love to do like cooking. Because like I watch onigiri on occasion, and like I think that one of the big problems, and this isn't really a problem, this is just like a complaint of mine, is that there's a lot of streamers that cook that don't cook for the average person, right? Like Asmongold's $1 steak, that's how you cook for everyone, right? Everyone can do that. He fucking takes his steak and he douses it in crab and then he puts it in. Yeah, I'd love to do that. I don't have the means for it at the moment, and by the way, I was looking at some of the like the logistics to kind of get that to work, and oh my god, like the lavalier mic I would need for it, the camera I would need for it, because a webcam won't cut it because of the fact that it's covering so much, and it's just like it's the only limit to it is money. But if I were to do it, which I would love to in the future, absolutely, would be I'd have to wear gloves, because I have scars and stuff on my hand that if you saw them, you would know who I am. Like you could easily identify me. House husband, woohoo! Well, I'd probably be a pretty good house husband, to be honest with you, because I know how to cook. I mean, I hate cleaning and I hate laundry, but I do it. You know, you gotta, you know, if you don't have clothes for, you know, what you gotta do tomorrow, then like, you know, who's gonna do it? That's where I'm at. But yeah, I'd love, you know, just like, I'd love to just be able to do whatever I want. Like that's true freedom, right? House husband, whatever, that's fine. But to be honest with you, like, even if I had millions of bucks, I'd still like go to work and stuff, because it's like, I don't know, like it just fills me with like a sense of duty and accomplishment and stuff. I don't know, I'm weird. Anyway, back to furries, right? God help us. God help us. Okay, I'm Rick, the emotional support turtle. I don't think the furry needs it. And you know what? Rick is gonna go back into the ocean. He's gonna swim. Okay, so, God, what a cursed photo. Just imagine you're in Just Chatting, and you're just like, I wonder what VTubers are going on today. What's going on? You just see Furry Catboy, Furry. What the fuck? VTubers are just furry weebos. What's going on here? Jesus loving household. Oh God. But let's see here. Yeah. So let me kind of go on a tangent here. So I did a little bit with like the cooking streams. I'd love to do that, but the daylight savings time really messed me up. Like I still don't know if we gained an hour or lost an hour. All I know is that I think the sun came up later, which means that we gained an hour, but I'm being told that like it's not. It's like, huh? I don't know. And speaking of daylight savings, like, it's just all new. Because, like, I don't know, like, it doesn't, like, whenever there's daylight savings, whether we get pushed forward or pushed back, like, that day when it happens, it's so odd. It's just all, like, it's either it's a completely normal day, or in my case, like today, it's just been weird. Just like I'm tired, just like I'm confused, like what's going on here? And speaking of tired and confused, I got my new keyboard and my moron mug, which by the way works perfectly fine. Monkey ball daylight savings. How you think that would work in that universe? That's a good point. How would that work? I don't know, but what I know does work is that my moron mug works great, right? And it's I got it so that I could put like a straw on the top, and it works great. Like even if I knock it over, the max that'll come out of it is like a straw. But by that time, I'll catch it or I'll pick it up. So even if I spill it on my new keyboard, which I just set up like 20-30 minutes ago, should be fine. And by the way, it is so weird going from like a Logitech keyboard back to a Razer keyboard. It's like, ooh, clicky. Like, yay. And it's not even a mechanical keyboard. This is like a membrane switch or something like that, which I'm fine with. It's just like, eh. But yeah, let me see here. Yeah, I can't really think of any more points for like, I can't think of any really good counter arguments for like, oh, VTubers are different from furries besides like the medium, right? Because like the VTuber community is heavily centered around women, right? Whereas male VTubers or other VTubers, like they are more like very niche, right? Because like if we're talking about it from a marketing perspective, like it's really bad to be a male VTuber because like the market demographic is so much smaller in comparison to female VTubers, right? Okay, Raz, time to steal you from the sea and we'll explore abandoned places all over the world. Well, I got to get to shore first. And once we get to shore, we'll be fine. But until then, I'm going to keep treading water and hope for my best. But here's another thing, right? That lore I was talking about, if you ask someone who's a furry, which I wish Rai was here. I think Rai is self-identified. I don't want to offend him, but what I think is interesting is that there are so many direct comparisons, yet there's such a hard wall that's placed, right? Like people will say like, no. Furries and VTubers completely different, right? Alrighty, I'm back. What have I missed? I was talking about how daylight savings really messed me up and how I got my new keyboard and my moron mug, which by the way, both works perfectly. But I was kind of thinking about like, I don't really have any more good arguments for saying that furries are just VTuber or furries are just VTubers are just furry weeaboos. Well, fursuits are actually like really dangerous like in water because they get really heavy. But I was gonna ask Rai, and I don't know if like I can defer to you in this regard, but I think I can. Like, if like, what is the actual difference between like? Oh, so actually, let me phrase it better. So we have the VTuber community, right? And we have the weeaboo community. There's a massive overlap between them. And then we have, obviously, on the other hand, right, the furry community, right? The only, like, and there's a massive wall between them, right? Where, like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. You know, furries are one thing, weeaboos and VTubers are another, which I recognize, right? They have animal eyes, ears, and something else. Yet they say they aren't, but that's completely fine. Yeah, see, actually, it's a really good point. Because, like, think about it, right? Like, to my left, or, well, to my right, your left, the furry suit that I chose, right? I love how I'm laying here with my cowboy hats. It's high noon. But, like, they have animal ears. I have animal ears, right? Now, the ears on the fursuit probably has to do with their lore, right? Like, okay, like, if you have a dog fursuit, then you're probably going to be like I think, like, dog stone is the proper way. By the way, this is all cursed stuff to me, so I don't know. If I'm being, like, offensive, let me know, because I have no idea. And the last thing I want to do is get a lot of viewers because furries want to chop my head off, right? That's the last thing I want. Now, I want to be funny, but I don't want to be, like, edgy and piss people off. I just think it's hilarious doing this. Ever heard of chopping things off, Raz? To be honest with you, at this point, like, I mean, I know that there are some things I could say. There are some things that I could make as a point saying that VTubers are the same as furries, but it'd be offensive to both communities, so I'm not going to. There's no winning. But the one thing that I can win on for sure is that the argument that VTubers are just weeaboos with a fursuit. Okay? Pissing off the furry community is the last thing you want to do. Don't go that route. Well, here's the thing. I don't want to piss off anyone, right? But I also understand that there's a lot of things that if you're ignorant about the community, you can inadvertently, like, step on a landmine. And how can you identify a landmine if you don't know what it looks like, right? If you don't know, a landmine is a circular thing on the floor that if you step on it, it blows you up. How would you know? Right? So that's why, like, I don't think I've said anything bad. I don't think I've said anything offensive or anything. But if in the event I did, I want anyone to see this, know that it's not because I'm being hateful or anything. I'm just saying, like, look at it. Okay, cool. Like, look at it from the perspective of an ignorant person who's just a VTuber, right? And I use just a VTuber very loosely, okay? I still don't really know what I'm doing, okay? I don't have any, like, seniority or anything, okay? I just stream. But, right, you know, I'm a person, and I have a weeaboo fursuit. How is that any different from a person that uses a fursuit, IRL? Right? I mean, you can, like we were saying earlier, like, okay, it's a difference between an actual suit versus a software one. But you still spend thousands of dollars. I mean, I'm like a high quality one. Actually, even like fursuits, like even like normal, like decent, are like only 1,000, right? I would hope happily go down that road. I'm not scared. I have the power of God and anime on my side. Then you can do that, but I don't want to, right? Because if anything, I think it's really funny poking fun at both communities. Because in order for this, like, the only reason I was like, okay, this is like, I'm okay with like doing this is because I have to insult myself in some level in order to like go through this, so that people aren't just like, oh yeah, he's attacking the furry community, because that's the last thing I want, right? I don't want to attack anyone. I want let people do what they want to do. You're not harming anyone. Why should I give a single fuck, right? Why do I care? You know, do your thing, right? I'm a furry cat boy professor on the internet, right? By the way, these glasses. They're like they're pinned onto my little front hair. What are they called? It's not a hoge. It's something else. Poke. Guess what? You're gay. Which, by the way, is actually a misconception with fursuits and stuff. I remember that there was a guy. I didn't know them IRL. They were just like some random acquaintanceship that I got like unlucky enough, and like they were just talking about like that if you were a furry, you had to be gay, and I was like, where'd you get that? And obviously, it's just an ignorant position, right? It's just stupid. That's just not true, right? Like, because then you can say like, well, if you're a male VTuber, then you have to be gay, and it's like, no. You know, like, it's an assumption that they made, which isn't always true, right? There are so many animal personas, we just accept what they are as humanoid furs, kek. Yeah. I mean, like, and that's even just like, because there isn't just humanoids, right? There's also anthros, right? Anthropomorphics, which is like non-humanoid. You don't see them as often in mainstream because I think they're very niche, but like humanoids, I believe, are like the most popular, or at least those are the ones that I see the most. Like, for example, Exhibit 1 on the left. You don't have to be gay to be furry. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, it isn't a requisite or requirement. Now, 10 years ago, that's what everyone thought because no one fucking knew, right? Whenever something's new, people form prejudices and assumptions that takes years for it to, like, actually come down and, like, normalize. Like, and what I mean by normalize is, like, people actually care enough to figure out what the hell the actual, like, thing is, right? Like, for example, D&D back in the day, like in the 80s and 70s, like, people thought it was like demon, like, people were summoning demons and it was like causing violence like video games in the 2000s, right? And the reason why is because they didn't understand it, right? They didn't even care. They were just like, there are kids sitting in a basement for 9 hours a day. What are they doing, right? They're playing fucking D&D because it's a bomb-ass game that's amazing, right? And, yeah, poke, don't be gay, you'll find some big boob anime women. Well, here's the other thing, too, right? The furry community, right, isn't limited to just men, right? Women can participate. And here's the thing, is that I believe in the furry community that there is a dominating, like, percentage of males versus women in terms of, like, fursuiters and so on, versus, like, in VTubing. In VTubing, it's reversed. There are much more female VTubers than male VTubers, right? And then, like, if you look at the market, the way that, I mean, I don't know the furry market, but the VTuber market, in terms of, like, business perspective, is, like, most of them are women, and the men tend to, like, do the GFE and BFE experience. The ratio is remarkable. Yeah, I would think so, too. And so, like, for the furry community, I would go out on a limb and say, even though I don't have evidence for this, but my perception is such that, like, 90% or more is male, right? Versus in VTubing, right, 90% of it is female. Which isn't bad. It's just that, like, I think the big thing is that, like, male VTubers haven't really found the sweet spot, right? Like, there's obviously the male VTubers that really key into the BFE, GFE stuff, which is like, cool, do your thing, right? But like, take Lord Aethelstan, for example, right? He never did any of that, to my knowledge, right? But how did he like carve out his own niche? He did it because he was really interesting, he was really funny, he made good content, and he's a good person, right? And I have no evidence to go against any of what I just said about him, right? I love how I'm just engrossed in this Minecraft. That's just copium, brother. That's just copium. But yeah, like, for example, like, how do you like distinguish yourself as a male VTuber in 2024, right? It's really hard, right? Because everything's kind of already been done in a way. And the stuff that hasn't been done is normally prohibitively expensive, which is why it hasn't been done, right? Like, I've seen some incredible models. I've seen some incredible people, you know, portraying those models. But, you know, how is that any different from something else? Did you say copium? Absolutely. Yeah. But, I'm just, like, taking a second and looking at myself, and I'm like, yeah, that's my life. But to distinguish today's standards, what do you do that makes you you? Exactly, yeah. Like, I've told this before, and I say it in a blanket term, but what I really mean by saying, like, I'm still in my shell is that I don't know what type of content creator I am, right? And I don't want to play the game. And what I mean by that, can I hop the screen? I don't want to just play the YouTube algorithm game and make a bunch of crappy shorts that maximizes, like, exposure. Because here's the thing, right? I am still one of the old hat people. I almost said old hag. Jeez, that would have been bad. Old hat people that believe that you don't do that unless you actually have good content that people should see. Because I'm still of the belief that if I have good content, that's what I should be pushing to people. Because that's good, that's interesting. And you can't be, you know, funny and interesting all the time, right? And then there's also stuff like, well, how do you measure it? But ultimately, in my opinion, right, I want to do it my way, and it may not be the fastest or best way. But the thing is that I don't want to make any missteps along the way. You know what I mean? Because the last thing I want to do is, like, and this is a little controversial, so I'll have to rein it in, don't worry. I'm sorry, Raz, we're going to have to put you down like a dog, pun intended. You know, this would be like the moment where I like tap into the bottom energy and be like, oh yeah, make me or some shit, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to give you that tidbit. But like, for example, right, like today I woke up and I went on Twitter because I posted a really crappy shit post. I was trying to make a song in FL Studio, and I found a note, and I was like, what are these notes? These sound familiar. And then I was like, oh, that's what that is. And I I put a little shitty meme on my Twitter, so if you're interested, feel free. By the way, turn the volume down. That's all I'll say, just in case. I think it's fine. I mixed it in a way that it wouldn't be explosive. But there are dangerous sites when digging deep further. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when you start digging deep into it, right? Like, I've said this before, but I don't want to put myself in a hole that people expect me to fill. I'm gonna change the analogy. I'm sorry. I don't want to be a person that people expect that I'm not, right? Like, I don't want to play a character on top of a character, right? I want to be myself, Raz, and I want to only be myself, Raz. Because if you, like, I may have the energy, I may have the, you know, ability, I may have the stamina, but there's nothing that hurts and sucks more than being someone you're not, because other people expect you to be, right? And I don't ever want to do something that will put me in that position, because then I'm not genuine. And I think it's really important from a viewer and streamer perspective to be as genuine as possible, because if you're not, then what's the point, right? Because I don't want to sell you guys anything. In fact, I don't think I'm going to. I'm just here. I'm just hanging out. You know, maybe that'll change in the future, but if it changes, it'll be like selling you dope merch, right? Like, there's so many people that sell, like, oh, buy my t-shirt. I'm like, no one wants a fucking t-shirt, right? Sell them something that they've never seen before, that's cheap, high quality, or try to get, you know, hopefully high quality, even if it isn't cheap, and something that matters to them, right? Like, if they want to wear hats, make them a bomb-ass fucking hat that lasts for like 40 years, right? I thought you were going to say I woke up and chose violence. I basically did today, right? Come here, Raz, I'll make a Raz coffee cup. Yeah, see, exactly. Like, what, like, because, and that's the thing that really, like, annoys me with merch. Like, I don't really buy merch from people because of the fact that, like, it's all the same. Here's a sticker. Here's a cup. Here's a hat. And it's like, I know that, like, it's very difficult to come up with your own IP and your own stuff, but I don't know. I think that with being a VTuber, you have to be creative, even if you don't have the ability to, like, speaking of coffee, I want caffeine. Yeah, I should go get some coffee sometime soon, but I'm just hanging out with water. But yeah, it's just like, it's really cool to me because, like, I think that in the I've only been streaming for 40 minutes, right? In the 40 minutes, I think I've successfully proven that VTubers are just very weeaboos. Now, I would love to hear counter arguments. Like, I would love to hear, like, obviously we heard from Riot, like, there's a difference because of the medium and there's a few other factors, but I think that my counter argument, I think that's, like, fits it. Because even though it technically is a different thing in logistics and in actual, like, carrying it out, but ultimately the logic behind it is the same. I would like another cowboy hat. Well, see, like, that's cool, right? Who the fuck sells cowboy hat merch in the VTubing community? I haven't seen it. That would be cool, right? And here's the other thing too. Like, obviously cowboy hats are very, like, use case, like, specific. So, like, there has to be, like, a pragmatic point to it. So, like, why not, like, you know, put something cool on it, like, I don't know, like a like a Velcro strap where you can put patches and stuff on it. I don't know. There's none, but if there would be one, that's cool. Yeah. So, like, it's one of those really interesting situations where you're thinking about it and you're like, well, you know, you got all the stuff on the table and you're trying to figure it out. And then all of a sudden, you know, you gotta wait. Is that? Hey, can you guys tell me what you see hanging around this, the furry's neck? In the necklace below the badge? What do you guys see? We have a cowboy? A pendant? Yeah, below the badge. Is that a pendant? I'm not seeing a pendant, I'll just say that. I'm seeing something else. I don't know. I can't quite figure it out. Okay. Okay. I've had it up for 40 minutes. I don't think I want to. Kowalski, analysis. There's no way that's what I think it is. There's no way. Are you guys seeing what I'm hinting at? No, I'm talking about here. Where's Marlon? Just a sec. I'm talking about this right here. I cannot think of a PG-13 item that this is. There's only one thing it could be. I swear to Christ, I've had this up for 40 fucking minutes, and it's... I think it's a condom. Oh no! No! Right, you see it too! You see it too! Oh no! I didn't bet this! I made a mistake! It's okay, it's okay. It's a peppermint patty. It's a peppermint patty, Twitch. Hello with my go. Yeah, it's a peppermint patty, okay? Oh my god. So, I think I've kind of proven my point there with the ecchi content. This was royalty-free furry PNG, okay? That was what I typed in Google. This is what came up. I looked at it, but I didn't expect it. My career's over. My career's over. I've gone 4K. No, Red, no! Out in the oven. It's been there the entire time. And you know what's worse? I was setting up stream, so I had to, like, put everything perfectly in its place. And I had to do this stuff, and it's been sitting in front of me for like a better half of like 2 hours before stream. Because I was also looking at the new BGM, which, by the way, let's see if the VOD gets muted. We'll see. Yeah, why we just see, because our mind wasn't in the gutter. I looked at it and I was like, why does that look like a purple square? And then I saw the indent on it. I'm like, no. And then I looked at it further and I was like, there's nothing except that. It's a peppermint patty, obviously. You know, Twitch, they know, right? But my gift is I spent a long time finding the BGM below. Now, according to them, all the licensing is good. We should be good to go. But if the VOD gets muted, I am going to be so sad. It's like, I almost choke on my own inhale or exhale, whatever that was. But, yeah, I you know what? I think we've proven our point. I think we're good to go. Let's go here. I think that's fine. But, I cannot believe this. I may or may not have well, you know what they say. It is what it is. It is what it is. You can't. It is what it is. So, good news. Okay. Is can't stop the clips. Exactly. Good news is the DMCA law sucks so badly. It took me a long time, like yesterday and like today, to find anything decent. And all the stuff that I really wanted that weren't from like record labels and stuff, I had to send emails. So I'm still waiting on, I shotgunned like 20 emails out. So I'm still waiting on replies because I found a lot of good music, but like I want to make sure that, you know, it's properly done because I don't want to get copyright struck. Now find a cowboy hat you can use. Maybe there is one. Who knows? Yeah, straightest cowboy. That's what I'm going for. But so I do have one other thing that I'm working on is I'm trying to get vBridger up and running. Cause I think that like, cause I obviously like I can feel my face, okay? Okay, I can feel my face when I'm with you. And whenever I'm like making expressions, like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, this model is incredible. It picks up a lot of expression, it's really good, you know, and obviously I have an iPhone using tracking, so it's great. But vBridger is something I'm going to try setting up. I don't know if I'll have it anytime soon, but we'll see how it goes. Unfortunately, I have to the outside dimension because I have to go to class now. It was nice stopping by this dimension. See you on the next one, Raz. All right, take care, Ray. You have a good one. This is probably going to be a pretty short stream, to be honest with you, so you're not going to miss too much. Straight than Drake Paul's punches. I think he is straight. I think he's just, what is he? He's just like, he does a lot of bait, which is okay. Speaking of, though, like, a lot of the DMCA crap that I've been trying to get around has been, like, very horrible bait for people who don't know how to read a license. Right? I have to deal with licenses pretty often, so I'm pretty familiar with the concepts. But, like, trying to find, like, oh, and by the way, I didn't know this, right? Spotify doesn't allow you to stream your music on Twitch. So, like, if you go to a stream and you see someone using Spotify, they can't do that. Because Spotify only allows you to listen to licensed music by yourself. They don't allow you explicitly in their TOS, like I found the clause and everything, to stream it on stream. So if you're going to do that, technically speaking, you're breaking TOS. And even if you don't get flagged for it, it's not good, right? Jake Paul, well, Jake Paul wasn't really even relevant in Disney. I mean, I will say, like, I am, well, not really happy. I mean, it's nice that he was able to make opportunities for himself and exploit it, but if I'm not mistaken, either Jake or Logan Paul, like, they scammed millions of dollars out of people, right? And then the fighting and all that, like, one of them is in the WWE, and I believe is a very, like, tame person. They realized they were stupid, they were kids, and then they moved on. And then the other one is, I believe, trying to fight Mike Tyson, which, by the way, why the hell would you ever want to do that, right? Like, even if you try fixing the fight, you're not going to win against the fucking GOAT. You're not going to win. Sorry, that's not how this works. You're going to lose. This is just how it is. But, yeah, the only thing I want to talk about in, like, really left field because Jake Paul is obviously a pretty like touchy subject for people. Is Jake wants to fight Mike? Good God, help him. Was the like, I don't know if you saw this, but like there's a lot of allegations going out now, like the Wilbur suit drama, which I won't go into the details unless like you absolutely need me to, but basically Wilbur got accused of something by his ex-girlfriend, and that's still kind of culminating. So the information is varied, and I haven't been able to cross-reference it. So I'm saying I'm reporting claims that I don't know to be true, and I'm not trying to report them as fact. I'm simply reporting what I have seen, and I want to make sure that everyone knows that I don't know if they're true. I just know their accusations and their allegations, right? So that happened like last week or like a few days ago, and that's still developing. I hope that it gets solved behind closed doors and no one knows about it, but need details because I need a tangent. Yeah, so basically the ex-girlfriend of Wilbur Soot is alleging that Wilbur like did physical like domestic violence in the form of like biting and stuff. Like he was like one of those guys that like really liked biting people, which like some people have that. It's like a it's like a how do you call it? Like it's a legit thing, but like he took it way too far, and she apparently like never consented to it, and would get like bruises and like scars and stuff, which like what? You know? So, you know, let's assume that that's true. That's a pretty serious thing, because that's domestic violence essentially, right? It's battery. Well, it's more than battery, but you know, that happened. There's not been any proof, and I don't know if there has been, but those are the allegations that are put against him right now. I mean, if the proof is there, I would love to see it. Well, we probably won't, simply for the sake of privacy's sake, which I agree with. Like, I'd rather this be, like, all of these things be handled behind closed doors and with the court, but, you know, stuff's gonna leak onto Twitter. But the one thing that I saw today that really, like, made me sigh very loudly was there are now allegations going around about George Not Found, Sapnap, Dream, and Puns, I believe, about particular SV. And SV, I can't say what it is. I can say what DV was, but I can't say SV for TOS reasons. But if you look up SV, you should be able to figure out like what I'm getting at. But essentially, that's what is being alleged against them, and it looks to be that there is actually evidence that they have. Now, obviously, I want everything here to be assumed that this is just hearsay. This is just what I've heard, and I don't know if there's any proof. Dream is horrible. We know what he did in front of a crowd. Yeah, I don't think Dream is a horrible person. I think that he is a decent guy that got beset by power and passion, and he didn't check himself. Therefore, he's wrecking himself. And I wrote a tweet about that. I know no one's going to see it, but I had to get it off my chest. And I was going to get it off here, but I wrote basically to the effect of, like, I wish that we had a resource on etiquette and behavior for famous content creators besides just, like, using common sense. Because I'm exhausted seeing people's lives ruined by creators, just beset by passion and leaving scars that can't heal. And I left, like, a little like, maybe Healthy Gamer GG can, like, be that resource, because, I don't know. I mean, I find it so unfortunate that there are so many people that, like, are content creators that have never had a grasp of real power before, and then they get all this money and fame, and then they don't know what to do with it, right? Now, I'm not saying I've had that wealth and fame. I'm just saying that I've handled power in a real capacity, and I had to carry it out dutifully, right? Because there were legal consequences if I didn't. Right, and if you don't have an experience like that, you're not going to be able to respect the power, right? Getting up, you know what I mean, in front of a crowd of children, though, it's crazy, like, honestly. Now, I've never heard of that before. Now, I will say, because I don't want to open the door too much on this, I kind of want to just talk at the surface level, mainly because, like, most of the stuff, I don't want to, like, stir any pot. I just kind of want to say, like, hey, this is what I saw. This is kind of fucked up. Like, get it off my chest. You know, using this as essentially my fence space. But, I mean, when one of the bad things about the online realm is that when one person makes an allegation, it should always be taken seriously, and it is. But when there's 2 or 3 or 4, instead of it just being an allegation, it starts to become a pattern. And I haven't seen any, like, final proof that, like, shows, yeah, this happened for sure. And if it exists out there, then I just haven't seen it. But it just really sucks to see people who, I think that's what's getting at them. Yeah, I don't know. But I think what's really like important is that because you're going to get a tangible amount of power in certain points of your life, whether sooner or later, it's going to happen eventually. And you only know how to handle that power, whether by being forced to handle it well, like in my case, like I was legally required to do it right, otherwise I would suffer incredible fucking consequences, or you fuck up real badly. But the problem is that most people do the second version, and whenever they really fuck up, it's because of they did something like absolutely like irreparable, right? Now, in my case, if I screwed that up, it would have just been a monetary issue. You know, I would have lost my job, blah, blah. But what I'm saying is that, like, if you don't have that experience to genuine power, small or big, you don't really know what to do with it because you don't know what it is. You don't know how it corrupts you. You don't know how it affects you. You don't know how it changes you. And it's not necessarily for the worse. It's just that it has an effect on your person. And seeing that everyone is learning through, I mean the content creators that make these mistakes, right? Like Carson was one of them. Dream, Sapnap, George Not Found Now, Wilbur Soot, etc. Like, instead of getting that power and learning to use it for good, they allowed it to consume them and corrupt them. Lord Acton actually had a really good quote on this, and you've probably heard it before. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, right? And that's not just like, oh, only absolute power corrupts absolutely. It's any power whatsoever. If you have the ability to possess power over yourself or others, it's a responsibility. Hence, great power, great responsibility. Because if you use that power incorrectly, you will always cause harm to someone. Could be yourself, could be someone else. It's irrelevant. You're going to. Carson really messed up, though, but now he's doing okay. The Carson situation was really unfortunate for multiple reasons. And I've talked about it briefly before, but, like, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time with a bad mental health, and he went about it in a wrong way, and he abused his power. Rich corporate people sometimes. Well, corporate is different, right? Because corporate is basically, instead of like content creation is you're bound by the limit of how much people will give you leeway. And that is determined by how good your content is. Hence Dream, right? Most people would have been destroyed by all the stuff that came out against him, even if they weren't true. But, like the gumball thing, right? But the problem is that he makes such good content, people don't care. And most of his viewership are kids. They can't think. They're kids, for Christ's sake. So, there's that. But, you know, you also take it into the case of, like, corporate's job. The reason corporate greed and stuff like that happens is because corporate is distinctly different from, like, content creators, because corporate is what can you get away with legally. That's the mindset. It's not about morals, it's all about money. It's about what can they get away with. Or if you're in a corporate position, like, what can I get away with legally? And it happens all the time. And the ones that get caught are always the ones that either try to test the boundaries or just patently ignore them. Or they don't know what they are and they just get caught by a stupid mistake. They get away with it a lot. Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, I know that for sure. I see it every day. And the reason it happens is because laws. Right. Corporatism is favored over morality in a lot of reasons, and, you know, yeah, that's all I'll say about that. But, you know, looking at it from a perspective of, like, how do you solve that? I think Healthy Gamer GG would probably be one of the best resources to not only educate, like, content creators on, like, how should you interact with a fan base, but also, like, how do you keep yourself in check? Like, what are the checks and balances that you can put in to protect yourself and others from this newfound power? And people don't get that, like, because they're expected to just use their common sense. And then some of them get caught because there are people who don't like them because of what they do. Yeah, there's always there are massive incentives to catch people doing stupid shit, but most of it isn't from a moral perspective. It's mostly from a business perspective. Getting them caught is better for them. And because it's only a matter of money, not a matter of like harm to a person. It's normally pretty light, right? Because if you harm a person, that is infinitely more like not dangerous, but like horrible than just committing a money crime, right? There's a difference as a matter of law, as a matter of corporate, etc., right? And everyone knows this. We just don't really talk about it that much, and that's okay. But it was whatever. But what I'm trying to say here is that I wish that Healthy Gamer GG would put out a resource or some sort of psychological like foundation would take a bunch of content creators, especially the ones that failed the most, and analyze them and talk to them and run through like their postmortem, which is like after death in Latin, but basically it means like what went wrong and why did it go wrong. And then from that, they could extrapolate all the information to give a resource for not even big content creators, just every content creator that find themselves in these positions, like what to do. Because if you try to look like, you know, like even the most asinine question is a good question, because if you have the answer to it, you know how to navigate that circumstance. So, but yeah, I got really I went really tangential on the dream stuff because like I'm just so tired of seeing it, you know? Like I see it so often on my not timeline, but like on YouTube recommendations and crap, because the algorithm like knows that I like drama on occasion. But it just sucks seeing these people who or like without the actual like situations they find themselves in and the actions that they commit by themselves. It really just like it sucks that they're making the wrong choice in the worst position, right? Like you don't want to make those like bad decisions then. You want to do it when you're a nobody, because then like there's so much less to lose. But we should do a review of Abandoned Places videos. That would be cool to do. Yeah, I've been thinking of like content ideas, like, because I love doing just chatting. I love doing like games and stuff, but I also want to do like more just like cool stuff, right? Just don't get me wrong, I love chatting, I love gaming, but like it would be interesting to do like abandoned, like let's take a tour through Chernobyl, right? Like I've seen a video like that before. I haven't watched it, but I've seen it like pop up. Like that would be cool. Just be like, oh, that's cool. But the problem is that like trying to make that interesting, because I'm actually a fan of React content. A lot of content creators hate it. They think like, oh, it's low-hanging fruit, and I'm like, well, prop comedy, technically speaking, is considered low-hanging fruit, but everyone loves it anyway. Why? Because it's funny. You know, just because it's technically easier for the creator to do doesn't mean that it's any less valuable than any other form. Now, is it as hard as like really genuinely good comedy? No, because it's prop comedy. But it's still funny, right? So in that case, like React content, or like watching videos and stuff, like that would be low-hanging fruit. But the catch-22 for me is like, okay, how do I make that interesting? And I have like thoughts about it, but you know, I have to be happy with it in order to do it, right? So there's like part of it being like uncomfortable with like wanting to, or like not wanting to get out of my shell, but there's also like, okay, like how long would that stream be? Or would it be just like a tangent? Or would it like, you know, just like kind of thinking about the logistics of it. But yeah, for sure. Like I've been writing down a lot of the stuff that you guys were like, hey, do this, do that. I'm like, oh, okay, well, you know, do that. In fact, I need to put that to like the like possible to-do list. By the way, sorry for the yawn. Wasn't able to control it this time again. What do you think of the BGM? I promised that I would change it, and I did. And I also have a few others that I can use, but I'm really hoping that this VOD doesn't get copyright struck or muted, because I did a hell of due diligence to make sure that everything was licensed correctly and everything is good to go. So I'm hoping and praying, because I think it's fine. I'm hoping that we're fine. And I haven't gotten like a live, you know, hey, you've been like copyright struck during the stream, so we should be good to go. Yeah, and unfortunately no one's gotten back to me, which is okay. I mean, business emails tend to take anywhere between a week or two, but also like a lot of people just like fucking forget that like the email's there, which happens. It happens. But yeah, let me think of one more tangent and then I'm gonna close out stream, because I didn't really get a lot of sleep last night. I only got like 5 hours. I just couldn't sleep. I was telling this is you yawning. I was watching or not watching. I was talking to Rye earlier, and I was telling him about like how daylight savings time has been really fucking me up. Like I haven't slept. I only slept like 4 or 5 hours. I'm like really drowsy and tired, and I don't know why. And I've been resting because like obviously, you know, I only got the weekend to kind of laze around. So I'm really hoping, for better or for worse, that we should be good to go by tomorrow. I mean, even if I'm really tired, I've gotten the discipline down where like I've been doing streams long enough that I will make stream. So you slept like a baby last night? That's good. That's good. Yeah, I thought I would too, because it was like, I don't know, I felt like really comfortable. I was really relaxed, and I was just like, I don't know, like just chilling out. And I thought I would go to sleep, but no, I only got 5 hours of sleep, and I wasn't able to go back. And it's like, okay, all right. So I'm kind of looking forward to going to sleep a little early today, just so that I can get some of those hours back. Because sleep debt is a real thing for me. May not be for everyone, but it is for me. So if I sleep 8 hours a night, I'm good. 7 I can work with, but 8 is kind of the perfect area. So I'm gonna need about probably 10 hours to kind of be fully energized tomorrow. Is kind of the guess I have. But you know, that's okay. But I actually still haven't freaking watched Free Run, man. I've been trying to get to watching it, and what do you call it? And like, you know, actually watching it, but I keep freaking forgetting. So frustrating. But yeah, I'm very happy with how the stream turned out. I went a little bit out of my shell talking about like hot topics. Like, for example, the dream situation, what we're sort of so on. But, yeah, like I said, I'm still trying to find myself. Oh, by the way, I put new rules in the bottom, and we've all been good. We've all been good, and we've kept it a pleasant place, so all is good. But just want to point you to it, just so that you know, hey, it's been changed. Because the last thing I want to do is like and by the way, this is a cool thing. It's called, did you say Hot Pocket? No, but now you're making me hungry. There's this thing called an ex post facto law, which is called a after the fact law. So like, for example, if someone does something bad, like let's say they say Gesundheit, right? And let's say you ban the word Gesundheit, right? Like a real fascist, right? And then you pass a law the next day that says saying Gesundheit is like punishable by death. So draconian too, right? Draconian law. And then what an ex post facto law does is, it was after you did something, and then they enforce that law on you. So I don't want me springing the new rules on you to be an ex post facto law. I don't want you to be like, oh yeah, you know, he didn't tell me, because notice is important. So I just wanted you to, you know, it's nothing crazy. It's just like, you know, typical BS, nice and easy. It should keep everything nice and simple, and yeah, should be good to go. And I forgot to tell Rye, but I'll let him know. He'll probably read it, hopefully. But either way, you know, I just wanted to give notice to everyone watching the stream that I did add a new rules down there. So yeah, whole focus is going to make this a pleasant place where we can talk about cool stuff, do cool stuff, and have fun doing cool stuff. But he didn't tell me I could go hunting after him. I don't think he'd appreciate that, but hey, who knows? But I need to drink water. I'm sorry about that. Let's see here. Did I get everything I wanted to talk about? Yeah, so I've achieved my purpose for today. I mean, I think, well, okay. Let me ask you, Ren, flat out. Do you think VTubers are just furry weabos? Yes or no? Or you can expand. I don't want to limit you to just a yes or no. Like, what do you think? I think so. I think that it doesn't have the same, like, prejudice or same understanding. I'm going hunting after you after stream. I do not. You think they're different? Is it because of the fact that, like, even though technically speaking there's a lot of similarities, the community and the basis around the community is different? Or, like, what's the reason it's different? Because even though I'm, like, being, like, kind of, like, you know, silly with, like, you know, VTubers are equal to, or VTubers are just furry weeaboos, like, I'm genuinely curious. Because I think they are, except for obviously the fact of the community. It depends on the VTuber avatar. That's a good point too. I could counter argue and say that there are like furry people who I don't even the furry community. I don't know like what their name is. Like we have weabos, right, for us, but you know, I don't know. Is it just furries? I guess I don't know. But like furries, right? They have VTuber models, and they're virtually the same. But like, are they different because like, okay, well, a fursuit isn't a VTuber model, or? But I get your point on like it depends on the VTuber avatar, right? Like I went with the cat ears because and the glasses because I was like, you know, it's like one, it's a hilarious as hell like thumbnail for the VOD, but also like it's like I don't know, I just wanted to try something new, see if something changes. But yeah, I mean I'm just kind of pondering on it. I'm pondering my orb right now. I'm up pondering my orb. Like I agree with you insofar as like, okay, like they're different because of we need a cowboy hat instead. If I find one, I'll have it on just for you. Be like cowboy cat boy. Wait, would it be? Yeah, well, hold on. Cowboy cat boy. Yeah, there we go. I think that's it. I think that's fine. And then I got the glasses because if anyone is like, oh, you know, like I kind of want this like to happen, like some random person who doesn't watch stream but like kind of sees a clip of me saying something like maybe inflammatory or something, like saying like, oh, blah 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 blah, you know, you're stupid, blah, blah, just a cowboy. Okay, I understand. Okay, you're right. Yeah. Instead of you know, just like maybe you or Rai doing it, like just some random person like, oh, you know, you're insulting the furry community and the weeboo community, blah blah, like, blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, look at my glasses, right? Were you expecting something smart to come from the glasses I'm wearing? If you did, you're wrong. I'm just a little guy. But yeah, I'm very much so looking forward to hopefully the VOD being safe. Let's hope. And I have a bunch of more new BGM for us to listen to, so we're not stuck with elevator crap. Which, by the way, I still love that song, but like, you know, listening to it over and 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 over gets really old. I'm wearing my cowboy hat and my glasses. There you go. Right. Now, my glasses, the glasses I'm wearing now, like, I was gonna pick up my readers and show it to the camera, like you can see it. But like the readers I use, they're like 1.25 magnification. They're just regular lenses, just with that magnification. And it has blue light protection. So like if you're ever like looking at a computer screen for a long period of time, I really recommend them. Because I have 20/10 vision. Like I don't have an issue with my vision. I'm just missing my jeans. Yeah, go with assless chaps, right? Welcome to Ram Ranch. Oh god, that fucked me up so bad I forgot the readers. Like I was trying to find an asset that like looked like actual reader glasses, and this is the best I could find. The lag is crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and close on out. I was just kind of, I don't know. I love streaming, and even though I know I should close this out, you know, on your end, yeah, I know. And the thing that sucks is that, and this is my last tangent before I end stream, because I will go on forever. Just watch. Is like I make sure that I stream at 720p 60 FPS, not really because like I can go higher, but the lower the resolution, the less data is required to watch the stream, so it's easier for you guys. And I believe you and Rai watch on mobile, so the last thing I can do is cater to make it easier on y'all's end, which obviously like I can only do so much, but you know, if I can do it, I might as well. But yeah, I think I proved it. Even if there are objections, right? I think I put a cogent argument in front of everyone that VTubers are just furry weeaboos, and that's okay, right? Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Like if someone came out to me and said, "Oh yeah, you're just a furry weeaboo," I'd be like, "Okay, I don't care," you know, how you know. But yeah, I'm gonna go on and close on out stream. Probably tomorrow's gonna be a little bit longer of a stream. Like I'm hopefully gonna do a game stream or something. I don't know. I like doing an hour-ish of like just chatting, simply because like I don't want to change BGM and stuff like that, and Generally speaking, that's about how long I can go before my vocal cords start to hurt. Because, you know, whenever I'm streaming, like, I don't shut up. I'm just shotgun, 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 blah, 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 you know, all over the place. So I'm going to take some time to just kind of relax, watch some free Ren, hang out, and, yeah, hopefully get some good sleep. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys again. And, Rye Ren, everyone else watching, Monkey Ball. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I have that on my list. How much is Monkey Ball? Let me see. Wait, which one would we do? Because there's like multiple versions of it on Steam. There's like Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. Oh wait, is that the only one on Steam? Super Monkey Ball is the cheapest one? Yeah, it's only 30 bucks. The deluxe is 40. They put the monkey in the ball. Thank you, Chill Tanuki. Or Tanuki. So, is it the one that's called Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania? That's published by Sega and developed by Ryuga Gotoku Studio? I think that's the one that we're talking about, right? I was just saying get the cheapest. Okay. I'll take a look around. Because Monkey Ball is like, it has a special place in my heart. Because I've actually never played it before, but I used to watch Wubby and a bunch of other streamers play it a lot. And it was just so hilarious, like staying in their stream and watching them try to get the hole in one. And they would be there doing it for hours. And it would be so funny watching them like spiral. And then because they're spiraling, they have less chance of actually hitting. So yeah, I'll see. If I don't do Monkey Ball tomorrow, is there anything else that you recommend? Anything else that you want to see? Just, you know, throw it out there. Because, you know, I'm always open to suggestions on stuff because a lot of the time, like, there is a lot of stuff I want to try and do. I just forget. Or, like, you know, I'm so, like, consumed with BS and stuff going on that, like, I forget to, you know, sit down and think. But I know I know Rye was talking about Arknight, which, by the way, that's just a limitation on my part for technology and stuff, so, But, for Minecraft, I gotta think of, like, actual content for that, if I were gonna do content. Oh, hold on. Coughed. My bad. Yeah, your arm is your gun. Whoa, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just making sure I don't miss anything on my my stream notes notepad. We are good to go. Okie dokie. I'm gonna go ahead and close out the stream here. Thank you for joining me, and if you made it this far, why don't you leave a follow? Or maybe even better yet, come by and hang out and talk to us. Until then, have a good one. Bye-bye.